I can honestly say if Edmonton, and this is a series we're going to talk about,
Yeah.
if they fall and lose in the first round to Anaheim, I would almost bet my paycheck that Bruce Cassidy will be the next coach of the Edmonton Oilers.
He'll be the next guy to try and cover up a coach's or a GM's mistakes. They have to get goaltending. Like, how many times do you have to say this about these guys? The most talented offensive player in the last 20 years, discounting Crosby, who's just a different kind of player than McDavid is. McDavid is, he can win games by himself, and Crosby is the definition of a team guy. He's just so good everywhere. Now, they have to get better goalkeeping, and they have to commit to team defense, and they are not ever going to do that. I don't know who, they keep changing coaches out. Knobloch's going to lose his job. Let's just make this clear.
Okay. No.
Unless he wins the Stanley Cup, which you can't see happening, he's gone. The experiment with McDavid's Ontario League coach is done. They'll get rid of him. You're going to put somebody in there, great. You're going to have a defensive system, fantastic. You have to get players willing to commit to it, and depending on what their structure is like for their contracts, they're not going to do it. They're at the most important time when you don't have any. You're not going to get any bonuses for how many points you score in the playoffs. None. You only get paid for the regular season. So, who's going to actually stop and say, my game has to switch in the playoffs? I have to know I can't be the first guy to try and get up the ice all the time. I should be like the guy who hangs back just to make sure I can cover up any kind of mistakes. They won't do it, and they have had so many, and unfortunately, they've been successful. They've made it to the Stanley Cup Finals twice. On the backs of not giving a shit defensively, and it bites them. And it bites them in the ass in the end, which is very, very good, which I enjoy very much to see. The heartache and pain of any Oilers fan is what makes me happy in my cold, dark heart, guys.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like
you've heard it here first.
It gives me sunshine, you know what I mean, on a cloudy day. So, who can you get? Like, where does it start? Where do you start getting rid of guys? Because this is a clear out. I don't know. It can't be ever considered a rebuild because you have a guy that's going to be able to win games by himself, and you're not getting rid of McDavid. It'll never happen. It can't happen.
Well,
if a team is going to come in, like he's going to get. Well, he could probably demand $22 million. That's the guy who owns the Oilers is a billionaire. He doesn't care about that. It's about making it work under the cap. If you're going to pay him even that much, how do you fit everything else in? How do you keep guys like Draisaitl? How do you keep guys like Nugent Hopkins is still there, but he has to drop his fucking money down too. You're paying a ton of money for an offensive defenseman, which is great. It's the last thing you need is an offensive defenseman for the Oilers. That's the last thing. You don't need it. You need guys to make sure that those guys up front are safe, to make sure they can play up front where they're supposed to be, not joining them and creating two-man rushes going the other way, like 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. Like, why can't they understand this? And then they hire terrifically terrible people to run their squad. And
that's the problem, right? Like, I mean,
they deserve everything they get.
Like from the top, it's been a debacle when you've got arguably two of the best three players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a debacle, like from ownership to management to scouting to whatever. Like it's been a colossal fail.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Edmonton's gone to the last two Stanley Cups. That's great. What do they do in those Stanley Cups? They do. The first one, I get it. I understand. The second one, you didn't learn nothing.
Nothing.
So that's a shame on the organization. And you say McDavid I don't think is going to be in Edmonton after 2 years. He's leaving.
He's only signed through 2 years.
Yeah, they can offer them so much money though. I just don't. And
you don't think other teams would be willing to offer Connor McDavid?
I don't know I just don't know how they're going to do it. Like the McDavid contract is already high and in place. Whoever else is going to get him has to clear out so much. They have to get rid of top end guys that they're willing to get rid of, the guys that would actually help with McDavid. So I just don't see where there's a fit for anywhere other than I think he's done so well.
But what fit is in Edmonton though? Like I don't understand what fit is in Edmonton.
Again, they're successful. They need changes. They have to be able to have the guts to make those changes. There has to be Draisaitl. Draisaitl has to be the one that goes. They're going to be able to get enough of a package together where they can get.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying Edmonton can't keep both?
Can't.
No, I agree with that. They can't keep both.
They have to make a tough choice. They have to make a tough choice.
They have to make a tough choice, but I do think if they do nothing, which is what they're most likely going to do, when that 2-year contract is up, McDavid, if the Leafs get rid of Matthews, they'll do whatever they have to do to sign Connor McDavid.
Yeah, that would be the only way. But I
don't know why he'd want to go there. Exactly. He's an Ontario kid, but I don't know why he'd want to go there.
Save Tavares. It never works. Tavares has been the outlier, and he hasn't demanded an incredible salary for what he's been worth. The team has been very high, but he's produced a lot. Like you're going for $20+ million for a guy who's going to be, when it's over, the back end of his career, probably still very successful. Again, the Leafs are in the same kind of boat where they just don't learn from mistakes. They won't play a team defense. They'll play forwards first, and he's just what do they call it? 6 of one, half dozen of the other between the two teams.
That's why I think the Leafs 100%. Would do it though, because they don't learn.
And then they're Leafs,
and they're run by idiots.
Well, no, because as we've
they're
noticed,
not run by anybody right now. There's
the guy that runs that Keith Pelly guy is an
MLSE.
idiot.
Yeah. But let's put it this way: the Leafs, they don't look at it as a sporting franchise looking for cups or this or that. MLSE is all about the mighty dollar. It's a business to them.
Yep.
So if they could bring Connor McDavid in, and guess what? You're going to sell freaking jerseys among jerseys, and you're going to have this, you're going to have that. Of course, they're going to bring him in and do that.
Yeah.
But that's up to Connor McDavid to sit there and say, what are you going to do for me? Like, sure, you can give me $18 million, but what about the product on the ice? That's what it all goes. And MLSE does not give a shit about the product on the ice. If they did, a lot of this would have been fixed many years ago, but it hasn't been.
Agreed, but I don't think any other team can afford McDavid.
Yep, you're right.
Oh,
well, that would he would actually sign with.
That he would actually sign with. Yeah, I don't think any of the teams that are currently like contenders for the cup can afford to sign McDavid, and I don't think that.
But we also need to
anywhere else.
But we also need to know what the cap's going up to in 2 years.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because the cap, it like next year the cap is going up enormously. Who knows what the next year is?
At his price, at a $22 million price tag, the Oilers would be able to fit in, or any other team would be able to fit in 3 $7 million guys.
Yeah.
And I just don't see how the guy can't play 60 minutes. When you need goaltending, you need defense, and you need to replace the guy up front.
But to me, that's the biggest glaring hole that Edmonton has never been able to fill is their goaltending.
Yeah.
Were they trying to blindside these Oilers fans saying, "Oh, Tristan Jarry is our guy now"? Come on.
It's ridiculous.
It's disgusting. Like they're trying to cover up what Connor McDavid has a big parachute over the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to sit there and say, "Hey, look, we're trying." Well, your trying is absolutely it's god awful. It's terrible.
They're not. And Anaheim isn't like their Southern California neighbors. Edmonton could simply just go and outscore the Kings, and they have for the last however many first rounds. Anaheim could fight back.
Well, right now the Ducks are outscoring Edmonton.
Yeah.
Like it's a complete role reversal.
crazy. 13 goals in 2 games is nuts.
Like again, but this is also
7,
too
6 on Oilers ice, and it's terrible.
But the problem is the Oilers, they like how Pittsburgh went from Skinner to Shieldvoss. Oilers do not have that luxury because are you going to go to Tristan Jarry? Have fun with that.
Yep.
So you're stuck with Connor Ingram.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
And that was their mid-season trade too, is to go get Connor.
Oh.
Ingram. Like, what? All right.
Oh, and then everybody, and then
everybody just looks up to see who Connor Ingram is. Like,
oh yeah, but then all of a sudden going into the playoffs, you're like, oh yeah, Connor Ingram, yeah, he actually had a good last month of the season. He should be okay for them in the playoffs.
It's called coping. They're coping.
Yeah, exactly. Disgusting.
They were what, a period away from winning a Stanley Cup. It's friggin' that team. I don't know. Yeah, things have to change.